Man, I hate having to admit this, but there is a power tool brand, one that we've recommended here on the channel. And I just gotta say, I can't recommend it anymore. And not that it's gone bad per se, so much as they've kind of taken their ball and gone home. It's weird. And the brand we're talking about is Hart. That's TTI's kissing cousin to Ryobi that's over at Walmart. Now, there's some backstory to this, and you got to listen to the whole thing to truly understand what's going on here. So, Walmart wanted to up their game. In fact, they even came to me. This is talk about an ego job here. They came to me and said, and I quote, "We want you to do for us what you did for Harbor Freight." And I'm like, that's a big ask there. And they went on to explain, basically, they were like, we recognize that Harbor Freight has upped their game and stopped being just the cheap discount throwaway tool company to a real player in the industry. And we want to do the same, and we want you to help spread the word and get that out there. That was a big deal. The largest retailer in North America, maybe the world, came to me and said they needed my help. And then they told me the whole sales pitch, what they're planning to do. And they got me hook, line, and sinker because I liked what they were selling. I liked the idea they were promising. Now, here's the rest of the story on this. Their partner, TTI, now this is the same people who make Milwaukee, they make Rigid, they make Ryobi as well. They were kind of trapped, all right? So their three big brands, Milwaukee, Rigid, and Ryobi, have an exclusive arrangement with Home Depot. Other than being sold through their direct tools outlet, the green and the orange can only be sold through Home Depot, and red, Milwaukee, can only be sold through non-competitors. In other words, smaller companies. Like you're not going to see it at Lowe's or Menards or any other big box kind of stores. You might see it at the small regional mom and pop or the Ace or the farm and ranch stores, but you're not going to see it in any big box competitors, not even on Amazon, all right? You can find them on Amazon, but they're not sold by Milwaukee there. So what this comes down to is then they wanted to be able to have this new outlet, and they were seeing that with the largest retailer in the world. This was a big opportunity for them, also because they were doubly locked with Ryobi. So not only could they not only sell it through Home Depot, they were stuck with the Ryobi battery platform. Yeah, I don't have a Ryobi battery here. I think it's at home. Anyway, if you're familiar with this, it's the old school style where it's got the flat battery and then the stem that goes up into the handle that was common back in the NiCad battery days. And Ryobi, when everyone else switched and abandoned everyone and pissed them all off, Ryobi made a promise. We're going to stay backwards compatible. You'll always be able to use your old batteries with the new tools and the new tools with the old battery. Anyway, and they've kept that promise. So good on them for that one. Even as they continue to try and evolve, and it's been a big hurdle for them, trying to get more power out of these systems, and the batteries breaking. Time you drop one of the batteries that lands wrong, that stem part of it breaks. It's a big issue because everyone wants the new hotness, which is the flat pack style batteries. These are what everyone's converted to, and only Ryobi is stuck doing it the old way because, well, they kind of promised and stuck their foot in it. So they saw this as a huge opportunity. They get to basically slip out the back door on Home Depot and open, with their new side chick here, Walmart, which is the biggest, I've said it a third time, biggest retailer in the world. And they're going to abandon that battery platform and come up with a new one. And they're just going to reskin all their stuff in this new cool white and with blue accent, the Hart colors. And the pitch that really got me was that Walmart was going to push this. They were going to scale up their whole tool section. But then what's really got interesting was their plans for their second and third stage was those Hart batteries were going to start being integrated with other components around Walmart, not just in the tool section. We're going to see them in sporting goods. We're going to see them in home goods, powering vacuums and even lights and all sorts of weird stuff. They're planning to come up with all sorts of interesting ideas. They even pitched the idea of a battery-powered blender to me. I'm like, this will be cool. You can buy into a hand tool battery platform that then down the road will be usable in kitchenwares and housewares and sporting goods and all sorts of stuff. This could be a whole new era for power tools, for the DIYer. I'm excited about that. And you know what? Ryobi was making good tools. they were going to basically just, reskin them in the Hart. They cheaped out a little bit. Like instead of putting like the standard sheet metal clip on it, they had a wire clip for hanging it on your tool belt and stuff like that. But yeah, little things. Problem is, it didn't take off the way they hoped. And as such, Walmart, being Walmart, has kind of walked away from it. And I don't know, honestly, if it's Walmart who got upset with this, if it's TTI who got upset with this, who knows? Maybe Home Depot, it's like, hey, I know you're stepping out on us. You got to stop that. I don't know what happened. But we do know, the fallout was this. The other tools, the other things around Walmart, never happened. Never saw it. Never came to be. That sucks, but that's not really going to make me say, hey, don't buy into this power tool system. But what really got it was they stopped developing new tools. There's just really not been much coming out that's new in the Hart line. Now, let me show you what I'm talking about here. So this is the lineup we're going to see right here, and this hasn't changed in years at this point. They did finally come out with some brushless tools, but nothing really new and or exciting. They haven't really advanced anything. They don't have the breadth of tools and such that you're going to see from Ryobi. So why buy into Hart when you can buy into Ryobi? Case in point, Hart's brushless drill. 1/2-inch drill, Gen 2. Super exciting, right? It's a good looking tool. It's not too big. It's not super compact, but it's a decent DIYer tool. And look at this, you're getting the full kit here for $79. With the battery and the charger, that's a great deal, right? Or I can get the Ryobi kit also for $79. And this is compact, all right? This is a nice, tidy little tool. It's got a good amount of power. And yeah, it's got the stupid Ryobi battery, but that also means it's compatible with everything in the Ryobi platform. And Ryobi has the largest line of power tools out there. Just period, okay? So if you want anything from, an auger to a recip saw to a garage door opener to a pressure, Ryobi has something that takes those batteries. So why would I spend the same kind of money for a slightly not as good tool? Definitely isn't this generation. This is the Ryobi HP, by the way. Why would I spend that at Walmart when I can go and get into the Ryobi lineup? And that's where they've dropped the ball, is they stopped innovating, they stopped developing. The outdoor power equipment, kind of the same story. Good stuff. They've sent me a bunch of it. I used it for years. My kids even started their own lawn maintenance company and ran it for a couple summers. And we had to shut it down because they ran out of time to be kids. All right, they were getting so much work because people were thrilled with the quality of the work that was getting done, with the way the grass was getting cut, and the fact that it was quiet. Somebody could sit in their house, read a book while the lawn got mowed, and they didn't have to hear like noisy mowers or much less leaf blowers going. And they really enjoyed that. But problem is, again, Walmart's kind of stagnated. I don't know if it was Hart that was issue. I don't know, TTI and the Walmart side, who let us down. But at the end of the day, we're just not seeing anything new, and that's not a good sign. Now, I will say this. They have a ton of great accessories. And with the accessories, you're not worried about buying into, a platform. With the modular tool system, I mean, it's $90. That's cheaper. That is cheaper than the cheesy Black & Decker one we showed the other day. So you have that option. They even have drawers on it. They've come out with this new cabinet system. It's $135, wider than most of the other home kind of cabinet systems. They have the old school, this one, $400. But this became popular not at $400, but when it went on clearance. And that's the one thing is when they clear it out, Walmart clears it out. And we were able to get this for like $150, which is a great deal on a tool cabinet like that. Unfortunately, you can't plan on that. All right, you can't count on them clearing out and going with a new model. And, so if you want to stay with the Hart accessories, stay with the Hart accessories. But as far as the power tools, I can't recommend it, especially now that they have, where did I put it? Hyper Tough. Yeah. This is insane. All right. This is a high torque that's competing with Harbor Freight. It's competing. It's a budget Milwaukee is what it is. I'm not saying it's professional grade, but it's getting all the ooga-doogas in there. And it's not just this one. They've got all sorts of stuff. They've got, let me see here. We've got the drill driver. There's their brushless drill driver, full kit with battery coming in at $38.44. You want 12-volt tools? They got a line of 12-volt tools that look exactly like Milwaukee. They don't perform as good as Milwaukee, but it's a sub $40 brushless. Is it brushless? Yeah, it is brushless. Brushless 12-volt for sub $40. Full kit. That's an insane price, all right? Then we've got the one I just showed you. Look at this. It's $124 with battery. High torque, 900 foot-pounds. Don't believe me? Go check out my friends over at Torque Test Channel and see what they said about it. It was good things, all good things. The fact is, Hypertough has become gotten like a cult following at this point because they're producing not top tier kind of tools, but for the DIYer, they're more than good enough and they're ridiculously cheap compared to the competition. And they don't stop there. You want some other accessories and stuff? They've got all of that. Lighting, auto tools, air tools, wet dry vacs, outdoor power equipment. I mean, that's a decent chainsaw right there. They've got all sorts of stuff, and Hart is, well, just being Hart at this point. You know, if you want to talk about the outdoor power equipment, let's take a quick look at that. We got weed whackers, we got pressure washers, we got blowers. There's that chainsaw right there, the hedger. They've got the electric snow shovels. They've got dethatchers and lawnmowers. Oh my, they've got it all. All right, that is, I mean, I'm not saying they've got Ryobi level of choices, but it's better than the average Joe. And again, it's at truly what you can think of as Walmart level prices. And worse than that, it's looking like that's where Walmart is putting their focus. In fact, if you go and you search the tools department over at Walmart, you go in here, we're in the tools and home improvement, you scroll down and it says, oh, you want to look at tools. It doesn't show Hart, their flagship. It shows a Hypertough. Walmart knows what's up. The end users know what's up. It's finally time we admit it. Hart is kind of dead in the water. Now, could they come back with a second wind and figure themselves out and be like, we're going to recommit? Maybe. But then they could also then turn around and walk away again. I'm sorry, but when you walk away, and that's the other thing is, I had, when they reached out to me, I said, you know, they're like, what do you want? You know, can we pay you? Can we do this? And I'm like, no, what I want is I want access. I want contact. I want people there who are dedicated, who are going to get back to me, because that's what's made us successful in talking about where Harbor Freight was going, was when people had questions, I could gather up those questions, and then I had contacts at Harbor Freight, still do, that I could turn around and go, here's a bunch of questions, what do you guys got to say about that? And then they would tell me, and I could turn around and do a video, I'm like, here's what they said. And then we would see them follow up and actually do it. Walmart, ghosted, out the back door, jumped in his Uber, and off he went. So, I'm sorry if you bought into the Hart line. It sucks for all of us. I thought they were good tools at a really solid price, and the availability of being able to go anywhere to get a Hart tool, because there's always a Walmart within spitting distance, was a great thing. But it looks like, you know, we're not completely out of luck, because we'll always have Hypertough, it looks like. Anyway, check out Hypertough. I'll put a link to the Hypertough stuff down below if you want to check it out. If you like what we do here, go ahead and chomp the old like button, smash that subscribe, ring the bell on the way out. You all take care. God bless. And as always, shine on.